Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
We are excited to announce this season, Chief Concerns is teaming up with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, to bring even more excitement to Chiefs football. Whether you're backing Mahomes to have over 4,500 passing yards, riding the over on Kelce's 4.5 touchdowns, or picking weekly same-game parlays, FanDuel has you covered with easy-to-use features, fast payouts, and tons of ways to win. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. And don't forget to tune into our weekly Chiefs same-game parlay show every week during the regular season. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns, your post-game show. Hey guys, preseason is officially over. I know tonight we were supposed to have our first win, but then some stuff happened at the end of the game and we lost. But nonetheless, our ones look phenomenal tonight, and I cannot wait to talk about how all things played out tonight's game, because there was a lot to love and a lot. If anyone was scared or nervous about a certain player, well, that certain player looked pretty damn good on those drives on offense with the ones offense. So, Teja, JD, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well, man. I thought it was a really good game, for my ones, and some for my twos, and watching our offense just move down the field. We could have hung up 40 plus points on this team. Easy. And they look like a well-oiled machine. The way they were just moving guys in and out. Offensive line looked good. We ran the football. We passed the ball. We were doing it all. It was in a great rhythm. And it was good to be at home. We put it that way. It was good to be back at Arrowhead, GHA Field. It looked like a real game. The way it was packed. I don't think I've seen a stadium packed like that yet, preseason, anywhere else. And so only at Arrowhead. And I tell you what, that shows you just how excited the fan base is. It really are. Like you said, they're not going to be able to see them for a few weeks, obviously, because they're going to kind of be on the road. But this is going to be this game right here. I think the guys did well. I think they did well. Like you said, if you had any concerns about any particular guys on the offensive line, I think you can go ahead and dispel, whatever concerns you had. I think everybody did a great job. So, yeah.
Lots of love. Teja, what are your quick thoughts before we kind of get after it and get into some of the talking points for tonight?
First of all, I'm glad it's over. Let's get the hell out of here and get to the regular season. Let's get out of business now. Enough of the bread and appetizers. Let's get to the meat now. That's one off the bat. Two, it just seems like it's funny. It's like we had a terrible end to the season, obviously last year, and what's so funny is that we really didn't lose a game all last year other than the Super Bowl, right? More, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like our loss came in the Super Bowl and we didn't get blown out except for the Super Bowl, right? So you expect a revenge tour, and now I know it's preseason, but now you have 3 straight losses in the preseason now. I love it going into the regular season. I think it's great. I think even though it's not the starters playing the whole time, they know we're 0-3 in the preseason. So it's on top of the Super Bowl losing. You didn't just get right back on track and winning 3 straight preseasons games. You lost 3 in a row. You lost your home preseason game. I love it. I just want them to go full steam ahead and dominate. We talked about last year how we had like a bingo of all the different kinds of way you can win games. And I remember I said this at one point. I think it kind of hurt us that we didn't get a slap in the face blowout before the playoffs started. I think we needed that. And we got that in the Super Bowl of all things. So I think that compounded with this, I love how this shaked out. I don't like going winless, but I think this doesn't matter. No one's going to ever remember this ever again. I think going into the season, I think it's actually forward momentum for us.
0-3 in last year's preseason as well, and we obviously went to the Super Bowl. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same point, it's like we saw last year not being successful in preseason has no merit on the success in the regular season. So yeah, we got to the Super Bowl off going 0-3 last year. So continue that same kind of streak that we had from last year. So you guys mentioned two things that the things that you liked in this game tonight, and let's just start off with the main topic of all throughout preseason, ever since that ass kicking in the Super Bowl, was offensive line. Tonight we were able to see the left side of the line. JD and we had Roman Cornell on this week, and what did he say? He said more reps. You want a guy, you want a guy to get to see how he is. You need to play him. In only 3 weeks preseason now, you need to play him. Tonight we got to see Kingsley. And Kingsley looked phenomenal. I'm going to rule out the first half PFF grades. His pass block grade was at 83.8, which is the best pass blocking grade from any of our offensive linemen for a starting line. His run block was 53.6, but they pretty much passed the entire time when he was in there tonight. Creed Humphrey, 80.2 pass block grade, 78.2 run block grade. Josh Simmons, 77.8 pass block grade, 65.6 or 66.5 run block grade. So, and then Trace Smith, 73 pass, 76 run. The bottom line is everyone looked good in the offensive line. Pat had hours, plenty of time back there to throw balls. We saw him unleash the deep ball, Tyquan Thornton, and we'll get to Tyquan Thornton. But it just seemed like he just had more time to do his thing back there, and it seemed like he looked more comfortable back there in the pocket. And tonight, from left to right, all those guys looked phenomenal tonight. JD, what did you see from Kingsley that we hadn't seen from the last 2 games, other than more sample size? What did you see from him tonight? Because it looked like he was out there it looked like he got it tonight versus the last 2 weeks.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as technique-wise, it looked like he did what I was hoping he was going to do. He looked like he kind of jumped the defensive tackle a little bit, was being a little bit more aggressive as opposed to like catching the guy. There was one that he kind of got beat on the inside, but that's because his feet wasn't moving. He just kind of waited. He kind of stuttered and waited, and the guy kind of gave him an inside move. And he kind of, he stopped him, and Creed kind of helped him. But other than that, I think that's what he did. He didn't retreat. He attacked. And I think that, in your mind, especially playing there at the guard, you got to meet power with power. Okay, you got to stop that charge now. The defensive tackles, man, are too big. They're too powerful. That if you're sitting back, those guys are compacted and they are strong. And all they want to do is get a guy back on his cleats. And so that helps him out. And so what Kingsley did was like, hey, man, let me go ahead and take the air out of the distance between us. Let me go ahead and put some stoutness in what I do. So that's what I saw tonight. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's a great job. That's a great job. And what you see was he wasn't backing up. He wasn't retreating. He wasn't off balance. And so doing that, like I said, taking a step toward a guy and then fighting him, he has to get through you. He has to get past you. But anytime that, like I said, you back up on a defensive tackle, man, these guys are too powerful. And if you've seen how much time they gave Pat to throw the football, I mean, it was incredible. Matter of fact, I don't even think he got any type of rushes or any type of hurries, even when he held it for a long time from the left side. It was from the right. He got it. So, I mean, Kingsley did a great job. Josh Simmons did a great job. You could tell they was kind of, they was sucking wind, because it's still, reps. Look, and I'm be honest with you, I would have probably gave him a half, but that's me. Okay. I would have sat there and like, hey man, like, shoot, go on, get some more reps in. But I think Andy them seen enough. They said, man, you did such a good job. And they were just, they were small on the defensive line. And I think they was like, okay, these guys are ready to roll. But it did look like they did improve. And it did look like they had been so a little bit more reps. Obviously you can sleep back in your bed because you're out of camp a little bit. Helps out a lot too. So, yeah, I think it did a good job.
Before we get to you, Teja, I know the whole conversation has been about Kingsley, JD, and you say Josh Simmons looked good. What have you seen from week 1 of preseason to week 3, which is Josh Simmons in particular? Just because I know everyone thinks we have the next big thing at left tackle with Josh Simmons, which I hope it's the case, and he's been great. But more of the conversation has been about Kingsley. What have you seen the growth from week 1 of preseason to week 3? And I know small sample size. What have you just noticed? Any small details that me and the rest of our Chief Concerns group might not notice?
No, I think he's just pretty consistent with his feet, with his hands. He's pretty stellar in what he does. I think, and that's what is so good with him is because he does show that consistency. It isn't like change it up, any of your technique wise to do it. I mean, he's just playing ball. He knows what he knows. He's an athletic tackle. And so for him, he has that part down. And so you having that part down, I think one of the things you want to do is be able to give a punch. And it seemed like that was a little different for me, maybe from what I've seen in training camp coming to, the games, because it did seem like stance was a little different, but maybe it's because he's just trying to figure out the adjustment. And maybe it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't have to have a wide stance or back stance this far back. And these guys are not as fast as I thought they were. But that's what's so good about a guy like him, because he can make an adjustment immediately on the fly because he's athletic enough to do it. So
yeah, I love what I saw from the left side of the line tonight. It's interesting that you say that, when he did face pressures from the right side, and I believe that Jawan Taylor, I'm not throwing any shade at Jawan Taylor, but he had the lowest run block and pass block grades of the starting 5 offensive linemen tonight. But nonetheless, we've seen him do his thing when it comes to regular season.
I was wondering why you didn't say it. You didn't give his numbers.
He was all the way at the bottom. That's why they rated the ones. He pass block grade 68. His run block grade was 58.9. So he had the second lowest run block grade, and he had the lowest pass block grade of the starting 5. But again, we've seen him do his thing in regular season and the postseason. We just haven't seen the other 2 do it yet. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on those 2.
If Taylor's our worst O-lineman this year, then we're going to have a pretty good year offensively. I'll say that.
Yeah. But Teja, what did you notice tonight? I know we talked about Kingsley and Josh Simmons, but what did you notice from the offensive line, and what kind of things you take away from just the amount of time Pat had back there?
Yeah, they just look so comfortable. They look like it's been – it almost – when I was watching, I was like, man, I mean, like, you can't help but react in the moment, but I was like, I think we were just too hard on them for lack of snaps. We didn't see enough. We just didn't see enough, right? So it was just good to see them for – consecutive drives of just gelling, right? Like when you start to pick something up, you want to go into the next drive, and who knows? Like maybe the next drive in one of the previous games, they would have looked amazing. Their playing time was so short. It was really good to see them like that. And the funny thing is about Simmons is this is a year for like development. I know he's our left tackle of the future, but the key word there is future, right? Like what he is in 2 or 3 years from now is not going to be what he's going to be this year. He's still going to be I hope, and I think he is going to be the best left tackle we've had in a long time, even this year in a development year. But he's going to probably get better as the year goes on, as he adjusts. If JD's already saying he's adjusting his own stance and taking the training wheels off himself because, maybe he was protecting a knee, or maybe he was just kind of trying to judge how fast guys are. I expect him to do that throughout the season. So it's just good to see this much success this early on. And Kingsley's kind of the same way, right? Like, he was our left tackle this time last year. Now he's our left guard. So we also need to be patient with that too. I know in our heads we think year 2 player, but it's a new position. So really, I mean, not throw it all out the door, but you got to throw a lot of it out the door. He's learning a completely new position here. So we need to have that same kind of patience for him. He's still an extremely young player playing a brand new position to himself. So it's just really encouraging. I love seeing that. What a great way to finish the preseason for them.
Yeah, to finish like that, and I know Andy has his ways of doing stuff, right? Like, we didn't see much of the guys last week, and they come out week 3, 2 weeks, the last dress rehearsal before we'll see them in Brazil in 2 weeks, and they come out looking sharp as can be. And I think I saw a stat that this was Mahomes' best statistical yard output since 2022 against the Commanders in preseason. And what happened in 2022? We won the Super Bowl that year, and MVP came that year as well. So for Pat, so for all those people who thought the Chiefs were going to regress offensively, maybe they're going to think again. And maybe on the Monday in those hot take shows on Monday, they'll be talking about the Chiefs. Have we been overlooking the Chiefs? We might see that across the national media.
Yeah.
So one other takeaways off. Probably not. You say, JD?
No. They're gonna stick with it for as long as they can.
Yeah.
So
let them.
So looking at offensive line looked great. So another guy that we've talked about on the show, we've been enamored about this guy since before the draft, right? Rashee Smith. So some Chief content creators have said, oh, he's on the chopping block. After a report came out yesterday that Diana Rossini said the Chiefs are calling teams about a running back, and they said Rashee Smith is probably the one to go. I've also heard them say Kareem Hunt's also the one to go too, but I forget about what random talking heads are saying. But Rashee Smith came out, guy who's only played with the 4s and the 3s, and we've seen him a little bit of the 2s. He gets the first kickoff return of the day, and then what happens on that very first drive? He's in there with Pat Mahomes. I mean, he dropped that one pass where he was fully extended. I mean, it was a tough catch. We should have caught that. And then 2 plays later, they go right back to an angle route, like a Darren Sproles route out of the backfield. Looked pretty good out there, and just the amount of touches and the amount of looks he was getting with Pat. What did you guys make of Rashee Smith, and do you think seeing him on the kick return tonight, as well as getting reps within the starting offense and hearing what Veach said about him in the press box tonight too, that also gave me wow, they are going to utilize him a lot this year, or utilize him somewhat with the offense. Do you think that he's got a chance to take that kick return job as well as be get some reps on the offense, or is this more about let's see how he can look with Pat?
I do believe it was, let's see how he looks with Pat. I think they wanted to put him in with the ones to see how he was going to be able to win, to see how he was going to be able to do. I think he did a pretty decent job of it. I mean, that one he ran that seam route, he was wide open. Pat throws it on me, and yeah, a little high ball, but he had it. He had it, and he just he's trying to pull it in, then pull it in. But what I love about it is to go right back to him, like you said, on the arrow route or angle, if you want to call it, and shoot, he utilized them. And my thing is this: he's such a weapon in the passing game. There's no doubt about it. He's a guy that could do a whole lot. You get him out in space, he's gonna be some problems for a lot of defenses. I think he's still trying to figure out running the football in the NFL. We know that's something that he's kind of new at, and it's a different thing running here in the NFL than it is in college. It's and I say this all the time, but the whole breathes. It does. There's like a pulsing thing to it. There's a timing that you had to have down. There's a patience. There's an experience, like a skill set to get there to understand exactly what it is that you're doing. And so same thing with, when they say talking about Pacheco. Pacheco had to learn that when he got from Rutgers, because what he had to do, he had to keep running and, trying to run over his lineman up there. But it is like, hey, man, patience. You got to learn patience. You got to understand how the blocking scheme is going to work. It may not necessarily be there. What hole do you run? Do you take a step? You can't be back there dancing. And so if he could get that part up to speed, he's going to be even more dangerous. But to be honest with you, man, with the guys that we have in the room, I mean, I like all the guys we had. I've heard somebody contacted me on it. I ain't going to say who, but they asked me, what was the rumor on, Breece Hall. And I'm like, look, I ain't heard anything. I'm not. So I think we good with the guys that we got. I think the guys in that room do a good job. It's a great 1-2 punch. Pop looked great running the ball. Kareem looked great running the football. Elijah Mitchell looked good running the football. He's a pro. We know that. He's been a guy that's been able to eat in this league. He's been able to make plays. So he's certified. And then we talking about Rashee Smith too, that can do everything like, out of backfield. You get the ball in his hands in space. I think we're good. So I some of these rumors, man, when people start them, I'm like, do we really know what we got? Are we really giving guys a fair shot? Do they truly understand what these guys can do? And it's almost like you're looking a gift horse in the mouth. You want to try to go somewhere else and go grab a guy because he's not getting to carry some, he's unhappy. Bring him here for a Chief. But look, the Chiefs got who they want. They do. They got who they want. You could say they're looking for a guy to get here and stuff like that. All the rumors start. This is the rumor mill. You don't know the truth of anything. And I think sometimes people just throw things out there, right? And if the Chiefs are like kind of looking like, hey, man, is kick the tires or somebody's talking about doing something, well, the Chiefs are obviously they're going to look around and see. But then all of a sudden, like tonight, they're like, man, we're good. We got confidence in the guy in the room. So, I think Rashee Smith, man, they did an amazing job. Like all our running backs tonight. They all look good.
I think it's clickbait. That's why people were making those stories about Rashee Smith. Rashee Smith gives us something that no one else in that room gives us. He's a guy who can run between the tackles. He's not. You don't want to be your main plotter, obviously, out there. We have other guys who can do that, but he can do that on occasion. And he's the guy who's out there in space, who can catch balls, who can run routes like a receiver. And the beauty of it is he's good enough at taking the ball between the tackles to the point where when you see him out there, you can't just always expect him to run a route now. Now you're like, okay, I don't know what he's going to do with them. And you can scheme him in so many different ways. We don't have another running back like that. So for anyone to think that he's gone is just – they're just trying. They either don't know what they're talking about. They're just trying to get attention, one or the other. I think I can't see why. We could have had Brian Robinson. What do you go for, a sixth? If we really wanted a running back, we could have done that. We didn't, right? So, I just don't see. I don't see how valid that is. I know there are rumors out there, but I think we're good. Honestly, I think between Pacheco, Hunt, and Smith, I think you have three solid running backs who give you different things, a mix of different things. I just don't see how you could justify spending serious draft capital on that position. Now, after this year, who knows? But that's not what we're talking about right now, right? This year only, I think we're okay.
I noticed you didn't mention Mitchell in that. You said Pacheco, Hunt, and Smith. Do you not think we're going to keep Mitchell?
Also notice I didn't mention Steele either. So,
that's a legit thing. For my roster, I don't have Steele on it, but I do have us carrying 4 running backs, which would include Eli Mitchell. Just because we're talking from the standpoint of if Pacheco, he has the injury history, Pacheco's out for any time. You have Kareem, who's going to be your lockdown, your short yardage guy, and he can tote the rock 20 plus times if you need be. But like JD said, Eli Mitchell has been a dude in this league when he was filling in for CMC in the past. He could be a guy as well. Rashee Smith will never be a guy just to have, if Pacheco goes down, to have a Hunt and Eli Mitchell to be kind of your 1-2 punch there. And with Rashee Smith kind of third down back in that. Do you not have us carrying 4 running backs, Tej? So no.
That's tough. I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked either way. I could see us keeping Mitchell. I could see us going 3. And if anything happened, we pick somebody up. But we already gave what we get. Already gave 1.2 guaranteed to Mitchell.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Tight end, running back, and receiver for me, man. Those are all really tough decisions to make.
Yeah.
I all 3 of those. And I think they really connect with each other too, because you might have to make a tough decision between one of those positions and losing a guy at another position somewhere else. Unfortunately, but yeah, I think either way, if you keep 4 or 3, I'm happy with that group. That's a good problem to have, by the way, right? When you're desperate for running back, if you're desperate, you can't just think like, man, we need someone else. We're actually the opposite, right? We think like, I mean, we can afford to get rid of somebody. When you can have that debate that we're even having right now, it just shows you that we're all right.
I think it's boiled down to if all those guys, if they're being utilized on special teams, is really the question, right? So Elijah Mitchell looks good. He's a good running back. He's proven.
Yeah.
The question is, okay, the Chiefs can be like, hey, man, look, you may have an opportunity to go somewhere else, to go get some playing time if that's one of the things, if he's not one of the guys that is going to be playing a lot of special teams. And that's the question. You wondered, like, hey, man, you've been a kind of a star in this league. Are you willing to go down on kickoff and punt and all those different things? That's the question. And so that's the same thing for Bashar Smith. Bashar Smith, young guy, I'm sure he's willing to do it. I guarantee they throw him in there because of his speed. He's going to be an asset, right? So you put him at gunner, you put him up there at up back. There's different things that he can do. But like you said, it's the same thing with Carson Steele. And even if you go to receiver, what receiver is going to be playing special teams? Same thing with tight end. The tight ends is going to be playing special teams. Is Jared Wiley going to be playing all the special teams? Is it going to be good on special teams? Between him and Tanya. And so there's some choices to be made. There's going to be some hard choices to be made here. Yeah. And so, I'm looking at my sheet as well. How many linemen do you carry? I think you just do 9. I don't think you do more than that. I don't think there's no need. We got guys that's in place that can play that position from our starters on. And let's say you do from that 5, you got Wanye, Jalen Moore, you got Caliendo, and I've seen Caliendo take snaps. Okay, so he can play center and all those different things. And then the fourth guy is either between Norzad or Hansen. It's probably what they're looking at.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much kind of where you are. So if you take 9 linemen and you talk about maybe 6 receivers, maybe 7, depends on how it is, and then how many tight ends, it's just some really, really hard choices. But I do believe it goes down to the special teams, really. That's the special teams aspect of it. So
yeah, I don't envy Brett Veach and the staff's jobs this weekend to have to make these obviously hard conversations to have with these players, A, and then B, cutting down this list of talented guys from 90 to 53, man. It's really, really tough. Probably one of the hardest jobs of a GM is this weekend that they're going to have the next few days.
And on top of that, is strategically plan out who you think you can sneak on the practice squad, right? So, like, if you think you can get a guy in your practice squad, maybe you let him go. You try to sneak him on there. Whereas another guy, you think like he's gonna get picked up somewhere else.
Yeah,
like Mitchell, I'd say is less likely to be on a practice squad. Obviously, I think he'll try to go elsewhere. Whereas Steele, I think Steele you could probably sneak on your practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, I agree with it. Especially a guy who's played the league before. Like he'd be like, "Hey, man, I ain't trying to do practice squad.
Nah,
I didn't do that route already. Let me go somewhere where I can go play, legit go play."
Yeah.
So,
so you think because you mentioned JD that you think they should want to see Rashard Smith with Mahomes to see how that worked. So when a guy's playing in the fourth quarter of this game, it's like Carson Steele played primarily in the fourth quarter of this game tonight. Does that signal, he is on the fringe of not making this team? Does that mean anything when a guy's playing in the fourth quarter of this game tonight?
I mean, I thought Carson Steele was on the fringe anyway. We didn't know how he was going to be, like if he was going to be a fullback or a running back. We don't know how he was going to be counted. But we knew with the type of guys he have in the room, Carson Steele just doesn't have the running ability as everybody else in there. He just doesn't. That's just a reality. But also, too, what Carson Steele brings to the table is he's doing other things that other guys in that room's not doing. He's playing special teams. He's running down on kickoff. He's running down on punt. So that's where his value lies in, and which is fine. That's a valuable piece to be, because if those other guys can't do it, that gets you on the plane, it gets you on the bus to travel. And like you said also too, hey, if you do get released, we can bring you back on the practice squad because we might have to pull you up, might have to bring you in. You know what I mean? Because if we're doing three running backs, let's say you do 3 running backs. Something happens and you had to pull a guy up, Carson Steele could be there right there for you. He could be that guy. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so from running back to receiver, guy that, during training camp, mini camp, everyone was talking about Tyquan Thornton. Oh, he's getting runs with Pat, Pat Thornton has good chemistry with Pat. And it's like, okay, we hear these stories every year. Like, oh, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Training camp comes, continues. The same story continues. Tyquan Thornton, same story continues. And then preseason comes. He was there for Pat's first attempt at preseason against Cardinals with that slant route to Tyquan, the DPI there. And then tonight, we heard about this long ball that Pat's been talking about, bringing it back. Finally has time back there to step up to the throw, 58-yard bomb, Tyquan Thornton. The chemistry between the two of them, it looks legit. It looks real. Like the stuff we've heard all about over the last few months, it looks legit. And tonight, we actually got to see that. So Tyquan Thornton's a guy that at first, during minicamp, it's like, oh, how's he going to make the team? Now we're looking, and I think he's a lock to make the team. And I think he's going to, just talk about his story of Tyquan Thornton just being a guy to go from cut for the Patriots to making the squad to probably going to have a pretty decent role in this team, especially when Rashee Rice does get suspended at some point. Tyquan Thornton's going to be a part of this offense. He's going to have a pretty pivotal role, I think, this year.
Yeah, but that's all you needed for him to do was show up. And so it's almost the same thing. Like, Sky's going out there to San Fran. It didn't work for him up there in New England. He comes down here, and he's got a new lease on his career. And so we know he's talented. He's a big receiver. He's fast. The one they threw today, he wanted to catch that ball because he probably could have caught it and kept running, but he wanted to secure it. And I seen him kind of take his legs out from underneath him, but he won't. Let me just secure this ball. He had the dude beat by at least almost 5 yards. Easy. That was just a good ball.
JD? Uh-oh. We might have lost him.
He's in deep thought in that still shot, though.
Yeah, he is.
He's going somewhere with that. I have a feeling.
Don't know what happened there. Okay. All right. Teja, what were your thoughts on Tyquan Thornton tonight? We wait for JD to.
I mean, 1 for 58. I think he's got a role with and without Rice coming back, especially if Hollywood Brown hasn't shown a propensity to stay healthy. I think Mahomes obviously has faith in him, and you saw the Taub what do you call it quotes. So basically, he's making the roster. I think we all know that. I think that's not even a question at this point. But I think he looks good. I think it's an encouraging depth for our receivers. I talk about unsuspecting confidence in your running back room. Dude, I'm so happy with our receiver room right now. I want to knock on wood. And that's with I remember last year when Hollywood went down in preseason, it was like, oh man, so okay. Slowly looking like last year's roster. It's like even without Hollywood around, I'm really confident this year and our receivers, and if Rice is suspended for however many games at some point, between our O-line giving him time and the weapons, I just felt like Mahomes was really confident out there taking those shots.
Yeah, it always speaks to the story of every year you hear a guy who flashes, right? I'll admit it. I love Justin Ross. That was a guy who I loved what he could potentially be coming out of college. But then you saw the one-handed grabs during minicamp. Mahomes is liking throwing balls to him, throwing jump balls to a guy like that. You always get attached to these kind of stories. And for me, and I'll probably admit, I think I probably was hesitant with the Tyquan Thornton thing just because, okay, we saw, he didn't really flash in New England. If he couldn't be a guy there when they had nobody, how's he going to come to our team and be a guy? But then, you see this stuff pan out. You see what happens during, that mini camp. You see it happen during training camp. It's like, okay, well, give it to me in the preseason game, and then he's done it. And honestly, it doesn't even matter whose quarterback's been. And Minshew, a lot of Quan. I mean, all these guys. So like he's done his thing. Even Bailey Zappi, he was getting open, and Zappi couldn't miss him or couldn't get him.
I know. But yeah, I think Dave Topp's comments are legit though. He is going to have to find a spot on special teams. You have to contribute. He's not the number one receiver, so he's going to have to find something to do on special teams if he wants to make good use of his roster spot.
Exactly.
But the fact that he doesn't have a role carved out for him on special teams, and he's already a lock to make the roster, just shows you how much he's excelled at receiver this offseason.
For sure. JD, you broke up in the middle of your Tyquan Thornton rant.
Yeah, my internet been bugging all day. It really has. I don't know what to shoot. But what I was going to say was I was actually going to speak about how our offense coordinator, okay, Andy and Nagy both did a good job just with what they were just bringing in with the run and the pass. I think they did an amazing job of it. And I think that's what we had to do more of, is just having a balance where you can throw a deep ball like that to Thornton. Because we threw the back shoulder pass to Rashee Rice over there that Patrick was throwing. And I love him doing things like that, okay? Because that's what we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more going up top. DBs open up their hips and try to run with us. And we need to throw some back shoulder throws. Now, Tyquan Thornton could do all those things. And I think, man, they found a real true nugget in what this guy is. So, we talked about this on Wednesday, Marcus, just discussing if Rashee Rice, if he misses whatever games, the first four, or the four after that, or whatever it's going to be. And Jalen Royals and Tyquan Thornton can fit into that role. We know that now. We've known that since training camp. And day in and day out, they just kept talking about it. He's just been making plays. He's got confidence in his hands. He's running great routes. And it seemed like, all the guys are happy for it. So, he's absolutely a joy to see, him come here and pick up where it may not happen for him up there in New England, really. And so I think, sometimes it does take new beginnings, new places, to find yourself. Shout out, to Sky Moore going out there to San Fran. Hope he's doing the same thing, right? Didn't quite work here. But, hopefully out San Fran, he's got a different opportunity. Same thing with Tyquan Thornton here. He's going to fit into their role. There's no doubt about it. Him and Jalen Royals, we're going to be fine, and we we discussed that. We got weapons all over the place. And I said, we moved up and down the entire field with ease. We truly did, and like I said, man, we could have put up 40 plus on this team. Easy. We had 7 touchdowns in us. And so it didn't even seem like this was the Bears defense. It was almost like it was what Seattle did to us last week. And the guys just say they was out there making plays. It's like they would just wait and get back in the huddle. They had a lot of poise, and they just looked good. They just looked good. So that's all I wanted to say. That's it.
You also have to remember, too, like Thornton wasn't our second round pick, but he was someone's second round pick the same year as Sky Moore when he went 4 picks before Sky Moore. Like, if Sky Moore was showing this kind of promise in training camp and he was our pick, we realized, we firsthand gave up the asset for him. We made that pick, right? I think we would be over the moon right now about Sky Moore. He'd be a major hype train. But when you pick up a guy who was someone else's investment, it just changes the way you look at him a little bit, because he wasn't our investment, right? Like, we didn't pay the money for something. Like, someone gave it to us and was like, oh, if it works out, hey, if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, whatever. But he was a second round pick a few years ago. Like, so he can blossom into just more than just a piece. He could be, it could be something a lot more than, I think even the hype train even has for him right now. I don't want to go all Justin Ross on you right now. He could be what you wanted Justin Ross to be all along.
Well, I mean, Ross is never going to be a deep threat the way Tyquan Thornton was. The guy runs a 4.240. Ross is never going to be that, though.
I mean contribution-wise. I don't mean the exact same player. I just mean like
skill set wise. We know Justin Ross has a skill set, right? There was things he can do, and that's why Connor Embry was sitting there saying we don't have a guy in this room who can do the things that Justin Ross can do, right? So he had a particular skill set to him that all the coaches loved. We just didn't utilize it. What I think is different now, okay, and I'm going back to this point, is it took this loss to the Eagles to actually open up the coaches' eyes to do something different, okay? And part of that was knowing that teams are going to drop 7. It's going to be 7 in coverage. What do you do? Who are you going to throw it to? And so some of the underneath ball and, keeping everything in front of defense ain't going to cut it all the time. They just sit somebody in those zones, right, to take that away. So what do you have to do? You got to make sure you stretch the defense. I'm talking about absolutely stretch them. So that means you got to have somebody that's going to run past the DB, okay? You have to do that. And if you can't get past him, back shoulder throw. We're telling our wide receivers now, get your head around. If you ain't got him beat, back shoulder, pat or throw it to you. But also, too, that's why you got to include the running game. And it looked like they had just a great, kind of balance between the run and the pass. And I think if we look like that this year, we're going to be very hard to stop. Very hard, because you have to keep teams honest. You got to. And if you don't do it, we're going to be sitting back at the same time, having 4 rushers trying to throw the ball between 7 back in coverage, okay, which is a hard thing to do. But I guarantee the coaches went to the drawing board and said, what is the remedy to this? How do we get past that, okay? If this is what teams are going to do, they're going to rush 4 against us, and they're just going to sit back, and hopefully Pat is, trying to pick them apart, then we'll try to live there. But instead of doing that, let's do something a little bit different. We got some running backs we can actually hand the ball off to get 6 or 7 yards at this time. So I kind of when we threw the ball to Thornton, the deep one, next play, pass. I'm like, why are you passing? Hey, God, run the ball. Run it. But then we ran it, and I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Now I seen just a little change in thought, like, okay, we ain't gonna pass on everybody, right? Especially we got these bulls in the back. We got these jogging ups up front who's ready to hit somebody in the throat. That's the stuff I love. So,
yeah, a lot of PA bombs I've noticed. They're really attempting the play action bombs, and it works. We've talked about before. Run a little bit more to have that play action mean something, but nonetheless, if he's getting fronts like that where he's not getting breathed on back there, then hey, I guess the play action works. I guess. I do see a comment here. Smooth Warrior, guys, let's be realistic here. He'll play the MVS role, which is fine. I mean, they spent a lot of money to get MVS, and in that year he had 700 yards. And if he had more of a chemistry with Pat on the deep balls, he would have had 1,000 yards easy that year.
Perfect. Let him play
We'll
that.
take that.
Okay? Let him play it.
For dirt cheap. That's the reason why people wanted to get rid of MVS, because we could probably find this kind of production from someone a lot cheaper. Well, there you go. You have it. Enjoy it. I was going to say this too. Last 4 combines, right? Last 4 combines. We have the fastest receiver. We have another fastest receiver, and we have the 3rd fastest running back. 3 out of the last 4 combines.
Wow.
We got speed. Big time.
That's Xavier, Thornton, and Burchard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is NASCAR out here, baby. That's what we doing. It's open, wide open, nitro. That's what's going on with the Chiefs. And I'm telling you right now, every team knows it. They understand that. And so when that joker got beat, that DB, I know he didn't think he was going to get beat like that. Tyquan Thornton ran past that joker. Ran past him. So I'm trying to tell you, man, teams going to have to get their hips ready and oiled up. Be prepared. Put your cleats on. You better tie them up tight because we coming for you.
And guess what? It's going to open up that middle and those little crossers and that slant for Kelce and for Rashee Rice.
Right. Yeah. Because we lived in that world a lot. Everybody knows our tendencies. They do. And so what Rashee Rice was able to do, his past couple of years is that whole little slant on the inside. I love to see him outside. That's perfect. I'm like, put Rashee out there. Put him on the outside. He's a bigger receiver. Absolutely. He looks like an X. He's the legit X receiver anywhere else. He can do that. Okay. Great hands. He's a powerful guy. He wants to go up and go get it. So, no, I love it. I love it.
And you also talk about the middle of the field is another guy I want to talk about. You saw him make a huge play when Pat rolls right, couldn't find anybody open, throws it in there. I don't know if he completed it. I saw a few different angles. It looks like it was completed. But Juju Smith-Schuster, he looks he caught it.
Yeah, he caught it. Yeah.
I know they got the ball fast on that play because it was kind of questionable. But, from the angles I saw, it looked like he grabbed it. But he looks faster. He looks like he's lost some weight. He also said I think like a podium like last week or 2 weeks ago that he said he's in the best shape of his life right now. And you talk about guys in the middle of the field, right? Potentially Rashee Rice suspension, Kelce eat in the middle of the field. Juju Smith-Schuster is another guy who can eat in the middle of the field. You saw a little bit of that tonight on one of the drives we had tonight. But I mean, he's a reliable pass catcher, and while the other guys are doing their thing out deep, you're gonna have Juju in the middle of the field, little drag routes, little rub routes with Kelce. So that's another guy that I think a lot of people forget about sometimes, and we don't forget about him on the show. But when you list out the Chiefs receivers, that's one guy. It's like, whoa, guys, we also have Juju in there. I know people want to say, Juju's no, he's not. He's not. This guy's a 28-year-old receiver. This guy's young still, and he looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He says he's in the best shape of his life. What are the kind of realistic expectations for Juju Smith-Schuster going into this year? Because I'm really excited about what Juju can produce for this offense.
Listen, Marcus, what a guy to be healthy, what it does to him. And so him in the role that he played last year, where he's kind of still getting himself healthy and, get that bad taste out of his mouth going up to New England, he has a good role. He understands what his role is now, right? He doesn't have to be the receiver he was when he was up there in Pittsburgh. You don't have to be that guy. You don't have to try to get that back. So he understands he's in a veteran role. He's helping these young guys out. He's helping in their maturity process. And he's sitting there saying, well, shoot, I know I'm good where I'm at. So if they need a call on me, I'll be there. Juju's going to do all the dirty work, okay? He's going to make the blocks. He's going to tell guys where to be. He's as reliable he could possibly get out there on the team. So he's just fit into this role. Juju is going to, I'm telling you, he's probably going to catch, I'm not even going to do that. I ain't going to say that. Yeah.
Don't do it.
I ain't going to set myself up, Teja. Can't do it. Yeah.
Don't do it.
I ain't going to do it. Yeah.
I'm just going to say there. I was like, let's hear this.
I know it. Yeah. Get a little too hype. I'm just going to say he's going to have a pivotal role in what we do offensively. That's it. So all this whole washed up and stuff like that, no, he's just fitting into a whole different role, which we need. That's what's required of Juju. We don't need for him to go up top. We don't need for him to catch 60 balls a year. We don't. Juju fits fine in what we do offensively, and that's perfect, just like a Brashard Smith. Hey, man, maybe you don't need for you run between the tackles. Maybe we put you out here, and you're going to be the gadget guy, right? Like we said, McCole Harmon or Tyreek Hill. That's fine. That's perfect. But you can do it all. And so what you do is keep teams guessing. That's what you do against defenses, okay? Because they can't necessarily just, I'm not going to just point on one guy. They got several weapons. We got several guys in the waiting to make plays. That's a beautiful thing to happen. And we ain't even talked about tight ends. We ain't even said nothing about tight ends yet.
I know. It's I know we said this a million times, and this is the best collection of talent that I think Mahomes has had in his career.
Yes.
Top to bottom. Top to bottom. Skill set. Maybe not always name and whatnot, but skill set top to bottom. I think it is.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and is that play alone, just that one where he caught that ball? I mean, it's like he's reliable hands. I mean, yes, we have burners on the outside, Hollywood, Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, but you also need to move the chain guys, and Juju's going to be that for us, as well as Jalen Royals will be. Rice can be the burner, and he can also be our move the chains guy as well. Just there's so many options, so many weapons. It's he's guys Pickens this year.
If you had it, I'm just saying, if Pat had any concerns that a young guy is not going to catch the football, he knows he could look to 9 and he's going to be there for him. He knows that. So, that's a beautiful thing for Juju, man, to find his role in this offense and then embrace it for what it is, right? So he's done had chased the money, and it's shoot, who knows? Shoot. He might try to go chase out, a couple more dollars somewhere else.
He's still young enough to get another contract.
He's still young.
100%.
5 years old. Heck, Juju seemed like he done been in there for 20 years. But,
Yeah. And another thing about, because you mentioned Rashee Smith there, and I want to go back for a second, but Juju during his press conference like last week, he also said they asked him which young receiver stood out to you. And he said, well, one guy who stood out to me, not necessarily a receiver, but it's Rashee Smith. That guy's a talented kid. And he kind of raved about how talented Rashee Smith was. And they asked him about receiver. He says he's not necessarily in our room, although he does do some stuff with us. It's Rashee Smith. And we saw him last week in line up a receiver and get a little jet pooch pass from Minshew. So, I mean, yeah, it's just top to bottom, man, from running back to tight end to receiver. So many weapons, man. So it's gonna be a fun year to watch this team, really.
Yeah.
So we talked about receivers, right? So Worthy, Rice, Hollywood, Thornton, Royals, Juju. That's 6 guys right now. So, and I know everyone's saying we're gonna keep 6, 7. So the 7th one, and tonight you really saw like the bottom of the receiver room, like these guys fight for it. You saw the Nico Remigio, Jason Brownlee. Both those guys really late. If this was their tape to put on for other teams, if they don't make the team in Kansas City, which I think one will, but both those guys play their asses off and say, hey, like, look, I did my thing tonight, and like I left it all out on the field. So if I don't make the team, I don't make the team, but I'll go elsewhere and make a team. And I thought tonight it really showed you that Nico and Brownlee are both guys like, man, I might be on the cusp. I need to do extra stuff. And I thought both those guys really played well tonight. What do you think as far as we do keep 7? And I think we probably will keep 7 just because of the Rashee Rice thing lingering there. So to have one more guy on the roster, is my opinion at least. Who do you think would make it between the Nico and Brownlee for that for the 7th wide receiver spot if you guys do think they keep 7?
Yeah. I think Nico. I think Nico because he's been here. He understands the offense. He's a return guy. You need a return guy. He's a full return guy. I think he's got that locked. I really do. I don't think there's anybody else as far as has his type of ability in the return game, like the quicks and stuff. Jalen Royal had a nice return, but Nico, man, is just he's that water bug.
He's that dude.
Yeah, he is. And so he can make a guy miss and get up through. So I think that it probably gives him the nod. But Brownlee's been stellar. He has. Hate to see it, man, because he's wearing 8-9. Shoot. So, maybe he'll pass it on to somebody else. But all of it, we don't know.
8-9 on 8-9 crime.
Yeah, but I think Nico got the nod. I do. I think Nico might have the nod on this one. So, and that's a shame because that's the truth. When you got receivers like this, all the guys is out there making plays, all of them.
Let me ask you, who do you think you could sneak onto the practice squad easier, Nico or Brownlee?
Brownlee.
Again, I also think that factors into it too.
Yeah.
Let's say Rashee gets suspended for 5-6 games. Hello, Brownlee?
Yeah. Yeah. Nico makes some great catches tonight too.
He really did.
He understands. I mean, he understands, man. He's balling. He's not going to be denied this year at all. He's like, I'm on the 53-man roster. He's already there with his mind. He knows that. So, when you got the special teams coach talking about you like, hey, man, that's his job. This is our return dude. Shoot. You stand right beside Dave Tope, he's like, you good. So,
and that's also the reason why his play stood out to me tonight, because he has all the reason. And I'm not saying guys are going to take this game off, JD, but he has all the reason in the world to be like, you know what, I'm set. I already got the special teams coach saying I'm the guy. He's already 10 toes deep for me. That's fine. I'm in. But like tonight, he played like his job was on the line tonight. Like he played like a guy who's like, oh man, you better play because you might not make the team. He played like he wasn't going to make the team tonight, even though all intents and purposes, Toe's been raving about him for 2 months now, about him being the return guy. And like he was already probably going to make the team anyway. We talked about him 2 weeks ago as him being a lock. But tonight he comes out and it's like, you know what? If there's any question, I'm going to put that to rest. And he played his ass off tonight. I mean, some of the catches he made were phenomenal offensively. We might not even see him play that offense that much, but he put a stamp on it tonight.
He was in that position last year. He understood what happened. So, he didn't play well in the last preseason game last year, and he found himself as the odd man out. He's like, that'll never happen again.
Yeah. All right, so looks like we got our 7th wide receiver right there. So Nico makes the 7th spot. So 7 wide receivers. All right, so now let's go to defense. So I didn't think we were going to see Chris Jones. I know that coach said we were going to see a lot of the starters tonight, but for some reason I thought 95 was not going to play. But boy, did he play, man! And what a difference he makes when he's on the field, because our defensive line, we were actually getting home and getting pressure with 4 tonight. I can't remember the last time that was a thing where we get pressure with 4 without having to blitz guys. And that lineup of, I think it was Tillery, Dana, Amenahu, and Jones when they got the sack on Caleb Williams. I love what I saw there for the interior from Tillery and Jones there. And then you had Amenahu and Dana on the outside. And that was without Karlaftis. So the fact that like the other group of edge rushers are coming in and doing their thing is just insane. But what did you make of the defensive line? I know that was big frustration for a lot of people over the last few weeks, but it looks like tonight when we had our ones on the field, which is what we said, wait to judge until you see the actual guys you're going to be playing when it comes to season starts. And we saw tonight, and it looked pretty damn good. What did you guys think?
Go ahead, Teja.
It's funny. I turn it on. I started watching the defensive series a little after they announced he was like playing, so I didn't know right away, but I could just see the difference right away too. It's almost like, and I thought in my head, it's like a dominant defensive big man in a basketball. It just changes the way the rest of your defense can operate almost, right? Guys can play more free because they know you're back there. They know you and offenses have to play completely differently because the lane's clogged and you can't just drive the ball. So you have to, it changes the way the defense plays around him, and it changes the way offenses play against us. He's so good. And I think, I know we don't want to play him too much in preseason, but it's like, you want to see how other guys play around him, because it's almost like when they say, oh, we need to get Rashee Smith playing with Pat. That's how I feel about like defensive players with Chris Jones. Like, I want to see them playing around him because it's a different kind of game, right? It's not even fair to have other guys playing without him because it's such an advantage to play with him. And hey, luckily we have him playing all the time. So you really got to look at the defense with him. It'd be like not playing preseason at all with no Mahomes. It's just like, oh, well, what is that? We wouldn't take it seriously at all, right? Like, I think when we say this all the time, we've been saying this for years. Jones is the Mahomes of defense, right? And we say it, but like most people, although they love Jones, they know how integral he is. He's not that level for a lot of people. But he really is, because if Mahomes didn't play in preseason and guys were struggling on offense, everyone would make excuses for them. Everyone would be like, well, Mahomes didn't play, so who cares? Like, that's not at all what it's going to look like. Jones didn't play, but we were still, everyone, including us even, but everyone was still judging these defensive players as if, like, that's fair to do so. But it's not, because playing with Jones is such a competitive advantage to have that you can't judge a guy without him. It's not fair to do so, right? So we finally get looks at these guys and what they're going to look like on the field with, like, the training wheels that is Chris Jones on defense.
It would be like the old Showtime Lakers playing without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like he's making a difference, from what he does, what he shows. I mean, he's a force unto himself that, like you said, it's hard to just you can't beat him down When he decides to turn it on, he's unstoppable. That's how good he is. But he needed the work. He needs the work, sure.
Yeah.
He wants to go against different competition because hey, I've been going against all our guys the whole time, coach. Let me get a little taste of that. Okay, sure. Come on in here, Chris. And so that's how it is. And look, and the defensive line is the key to defense. If somebody tells you any difference, it's a lie. The defensive line is the key to any great defense. And I'm going to tell you this, okay? And this is no shade, but in the Super Bowl, the better defensive line won the game.
Yeah.
They did. They rushed 4 and they beat us with 4 guys. The defensive line did. And they decimated us. So what we had to do is we got to be able to show that entire thing as well. Now, our system is set up a little bit different than everybody else's, but with Chris Jones in there, it is extremely, extremely different. Extremely different. Because he just makes everybody, like you said, he makes everybody else better. He does. Kalafkis, Minahu, Pennell, you said Tillery came in, Bolton, the linebacker crew. The corners can cover a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, a little bit better because they know they got somebody who's going to be pressuring the quarterback. All of that works hand in hand. So Chris Jones, I always kind of laugh because I couldn't believe that people wanted to get rid of him a couple of years ago. They didn't want to pay the guy. They was just, he's sitting up there with all of his his daggone agents and what is he doing? And I'm just like, yo.
We can get 2 guys with that money. We get 2 guys that are not as good as him to be on our defense. It'll make up for it.
Yeah, I was trying to send Chris Jones money. Hey, man, listen, I'll give you a little bit of my dollars, okay? I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but I'll give you a little of mine when you come back, okay? And I'm telling you, that was money well spent. Well spent. The best defensive tackle in the game. So you had to probably put him in probably top 5 defender in the NFL. You go either way with it. I mean, he's there, right? How you look at it, he's definitely top 5 defensive player in the league. Now, obviously, everybody looks at corners and the breakups and all that different stuff. Chris Jones, to me, is probably top 3, to be honest with you, overall. Just a difference maker in what he does out there. So he's needed. He's needed.
Yeah, I still laugh at the people who wanted us to move on from Chris Jones. I remember we were getting flack on our show, JD, because we were trying to we were saying we need to pay him. And it was like, you guys know what you're talking about. We moved on from Tyreek Hill. We can move on from Chris Jones too. It's like, well, not the same.
No, it's not the same at all.
Like I said, defensive line is the key to any good defense. Okay, it is. So
yeah.
PM15 was that for our offense.
Yeah.
Can't move on from PM15. Okay. Just like we can't move on from Chris Jones. So
Tyreek Hill's like a badass cornerback.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is like a badass quarterback. It's a totally different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So we talked about the guys who Karlaftis played well tonight. We got to see Dana. We got to see Jones. We got to see all the main guys and the usual suspects. But then I'm seeing everyone in the chat, which is a guy I want to talk about. A guy we raved about up to the draft, Ashton Gelati. I mean, that guy is relentless, man. Capital R, relentless. I mean, all that in a bag of chips. He may not get you sacks, but he gets sacked tonight, but he was all over it. I mean, the guy, since week 1 of preseason, he's chasing down backside plays. He's always involved. He's always around. And that was part of the reason why, even with FAU was there, he was ahead of FAU in the depth chart because he was always involved, always after it. That's a guy we've talked about for years, JD. Getting guys who are always going to have knack to be involved, relentless bull rush type guys all day long. Karlaftis was that, but Gelati's to another level, I have to say, and I'm curious to see how his development goes in the next few years. But what did you make from Ashton Gelati from week 1 of preseason to what we saw tonight?
I think it's a big jump. I do. And what we know is when you have guys who starting to figure everything out, and this is speaking to him, and I spoke to Ashton extensively. I had a good visit with him and his family. Good people. You could just tell he's a good son, a good guy. he's about his business. He's about getting better. He's about, try to do everything right and let everything soak in. So tonight he showed up and it seemed like he got pissed off because he got the penalty. And he come back and make another play. And so it was just like, this is what he knows right now. Like, hey, man, look, you're making plays. We're asking you to do this. And he's delivering. He's delivering. So a young guy that's coming in and making plays like that on the third preseason game, you have no question about him coming in and playing. Zero question about it. So I loved it. I love that he came out and he showed exactly why we drafted him when we drafted him. Seriously. So, man, shout out to Ashton, man, playing his butt off tonight. Incredible.
Teja, anything to add with Ashton Gelati?
There's a picture I was just trying to send you of him taking on 3 Bears players at once. It's awesome. I want to send it to you.
Let me get him. Let me at him.
I get over to you right now. It just says it all about him. Just like you said, that picture is relentless. Yeah, I don't think that was a legit penalty. I agree with Trent Green on that one. I landed on him. I mean, like, he was right there when he let go of that ball, so it wasn't late. I guess they just got him for landing on him. But what a star he's going to be. I think he's going to take such advantage of, again, 95 being next to him. And on a D line with the guys we have around him, he's going to be overlooked. And if you're going to have someone not prepared to go against an animal like that every play, he's just gonna rip right through you. And him and George on both sides who are ready to run through brick walls, right? So them next to on the outsides of Chris Jones is just such an advantage to have.
Oh yeah.
You see that picture, Marcus? So
where'd you send it to me?
Your
text?
email. It's all right.
Oh, my email?
Sorry.
Sorry. I wasn't checking. Sorry. Here, I'll pull it up. I mean, yeah, just and the thing is, it's like I know we've talked about our rookies and the 2 guys, but like he doesn't play like he doesn't play like a rookie. Like he plays like a guy who's been in the NFL for a while, who's just one of those guys, your high energy defensive end you bring in on certain downs and stuff. That's what he seems like, but he's still young. He's a kid still. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm. He's an action like Wolverine. Kind of looks like him. He can play a Wolverine too. He could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just extremely happy. I think he's going to develop really fast too. I don't think he's going to be a double-digit sack guy this year by any means, but you're pulling it up. Look at
that. Wow. Yeah.
That's great. It says it all right there, right?
Yeah.
It's relentless.
It's relentless. That's determination. That's what that is. That right there is getting the job done. I don't care who's in front of me. He's just playing ball. That's it. He's just trying to wreck it. So, yeah, that type of pursuit he'll have from backside. We've seen it in the last game against Seattle. I mean, he was running plays down. He's not going to give up. He don't have any quit in him. He just doesn't. That's not what he's about. He's not going to take a play off. You never see that. Every time he's going in, he's 100 miles an hour. That's what he's doing. So you need guys like this. You need
hungry.
Yeah. Kyle Harrison says, does Gelati start? No, it don't matter who starts. This is your rotation. I think, Kyle, and this is what we need to understand, okay? If you have a D line that can rotate where guys don't get tired, that's the type of D line you want, okay? Because people stay fresh, all right? You want to wear one guy out. Somebody's having a good go at it, put him in. So it's not really about starting. It's about, making plays with the opportunities you get. So whenever he's in there, you just keep watching him. That's what you want to be able to do. All that whole like D-line and stuff, who starting goes out the window unless it's 95. Other than that, hey man, shoot. Everybody else is gonna come in and they're gonna get a piece of it. So doesn't matter if he starts or not. And he can start, he can start, but it's not a big deal. He's not looking like, oh man, I ain't starting. Nah, shoot. He's playing. He's gonna play significant snaps.
Oh yeah, and they knew that pretty early on in the process with him. That's why he was right. The first depth chart came out, he was ahead of FAU right away. It was like, okay, this kid needs to play, and they knew that right away. Carl Loftus had 6 sacks his rookie season. I know one was drafted later than the other. Do you think there's a chance that he goes over 6 sacks his rookie season?
No, he could fall into a few. He could definitely fall into a few.
I think he's the 4 to 8 range. 4 on the low side, 8 on the high side. So 6 would be right in the middle there.
I'd love that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's an injury away from playing like major snaps, and then I'd put him in the high range of that.
Yeah. But yeah, this picture just tells you a lot about him. It's very symbolic to the kind of guy that Ashton Gelati is, and why we were so stoked. And then, he was among. I mean, we talk about our draft all the time, but like that was one of the guys who was like, man, we got Gelati. Hell yes, and it was unreal. So a great move there by Brett Veach. And again, we'll pat ourselves on the back on calling out another one. My final takeaway from defense tonight, based on the Twitter takes I've seen, the guys talked about it a lot. We've waited, half training camp went through. It was a topic on our shows. Like, when are we going to see this guy? When are we going to see this offseason acquisition in Christian Fulton? And I don't know if you guys remember last preseason game. Remember, Watson was pretty much out the entire training camp. They played him in that last preseason game from quarter 1 to quarter 4. It was like, oh, is he on the cusp? It was like, no. JD said, like, no, he's not at risk of being cut. It's more about the guys missed training camp and they're playing him in this game. It's like, you know what? You missed a lot of conditioning. You're going to condition your butt during this game here. And that's what
that's where you need to bring him up to speed. You're going to get all these reps. You're going to get them all. You need them. Why? Because you got suckers going to run by you every single play. So you need the work. Trust me, Coach, I got it. I no problem. I'm sure he don't mind that. He don't mind it. So, that's I seen him in there. I was just like, yep. Get your work in. Get it in. And I know people was probably thinking like, oh, man, is he going to get cut? Man, we just paid him some good money. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah. He ain't getting cut. He ain't on no cusp. That sucker is playing. Okay? He is playing. So, what do you think? How do you think?
I thought he looked good tonight. I mean, I know he was winded and gassed by the beginning of the fourth and the third. He was exhausted, but like I thought he looked good out there. I mean, for first game, and he's kind of thrown in there. I thought he looked great, and I think, and this just adds to what some may see our cornerback room as a weakness, but like it's really not, because I've seen a lot of people say, oh, we should go out and sign one or whatever, bring in a veteran, and I'm very against that. Forget about Najee. Forget about all the other guys we have. Let's look at the top 3. We got McDuffie, we have Fulton, and we got Jalen Watson. And we are such a luxury that we have 3 guys who I'm comfortable in between Fulton, McDuffie, and Watson. We're like, at any given moment, you see Watson, like, damn, man, Watson's on it. He's cooking. And then Fulton, who, like, he looked good tonight. First action he's seen all training camp and preseason. But, like, he looked good. And you have him. He could be your quarterback 3 or quarterback 2. And then you have McDuffie at your 1. But you have the fact you have those 3 guys, and we've seen some stuff. Noah Williams looks good. Najee has some spurts. So we have guys that are on the back end. But those top 3 cornerbacks, man, we're pretty locked and loaded up top with those 3 dudes. I mean, what did you guys make of Christian Fulton tonight?
No, like I said, I think he's just working back into what we thought he was going to be. And that's fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think for him, him getting the whole scheme about what it is.
JD?
Cliffhanger. Big cliffhanger.
You might have lost him.
I will say, while he takes a break, there are certain guys you get worried about playing late in games. Like, we talked about Steele, for instance, where he played. I would be worried about that if I was like, hoping Steele makes the team. Fulton makes perfect sense. Fulton's the guy you're saying, like, he has to play this much. Like, you got to make up time. It's just simple as that, right? So I'm not worried about how late he played games.
He's the entire conditioning in this one game, essentially.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, man, we have to catch you up real fast. I'm with you too on the cornerback situation. I feel comfortable. I think we have two good enough outside guys to healthy, knock on wood, to be able to move McDuffie around as we please. Have him slot blitzing, have him just put him in different parts of the field. I think that's what we want. I think that's why we paid Fulton a good amount of money, right? I think it caught people off guard to do that. I think that people put that right toward saying, oh, McDuffie's probably gone. Well, it's the contrary. We want to move him around because he's such a special, versatile player. We don't want him stuck in one position because we're going to pay him a lot of money. You got to put him on the outside, best receiver on the field. No, because like really great receivers get moved all over the place. Why would you not have a great cornerback that can move all over the place, right? Jefferson plays in the slot a lot. Lamb goes to the slot a lot. They move Chase around everywhere, right? So you want a guy who can just follow him around everywhere. I like the way our cornerbacks look. I just stay healthy.
Jay, we lost you again, buddy.
Yeah, I see, man. I don't understand it, man. I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. So, let's see if I want to try to plug me around and move. All right, but yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. Heck.
You were talking about Fulton and how he's like kind of getting his feet back under him with the new system that he's in and stuff.
Yeah, and really, those saying goes, man. Clear minds make faster feet. Okay, and so once he gets into that system of understanding what he needs to do, who he's playing with, and where everybody needs to be, he's going to be that much better. So that's why you throw a guy like this in. Because Spag's defense is a little difficult. But I think, man, we look good on the DB room. I think we look good. So
yeah, we're locked and loaded, especially at the top three, and then Nazi, Noel Williams, a bunch of dudes, Josh Williams. We have a bunch of guys who can fill in as needed. But yeah, I love what we got here with Christian Fulton and Jalen Watson looking like a beast too. So that kind of brings us to the end. Did anybody that I did not mention or anything that you wanted to talk about that you noticed in this game tonight that needs to be highlighted?
There's one Bossa. Bossa made some plays. Chanel made some plays. Chanel looked good too. The undrafted free agent McDonald. Remember I talked about him? I spoke about him as well. I said, man, look, he's a good linebacker. I heard Trent talk about him as well and said he was just making plays at camp. And I was like, okay. So Trent sees it too. He's just been talking about him. So he was making some good plays. He looked good. So that linebacker room might look a little different than what it's been the past couple of years. I do anticipate that. So, what do y'all think? I mean, linebacker-wise.
I thought Bossa is a beast. I think we found the. I remember after the first preseason game, we were talking. You were like, we need to find a Willie Gay type because I mean the running back situation is gonna be rough. Bossa, and maybe it's one of those things. The first preseason game, nervous, doesn't know not really fitting to his role well yet. But Bossa is an athlete, and I think we found our solution to our running back coverage problems with Jeffrey Bossa. And I mean, that guy's just have him stick to the running back and just phase him out of the game, man. Because he's a real deal. I'm a huge Bossa guy. So yeah, that was my takeaway. And McDonald's always around the football. Every game so far, he's made a way to his name be called by the announcer, be it by the away announcer or the home announcer. He's he's got a knack for being around the play, and that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, another good performance from special teams again, too. Preseason, special teams. No, just in general, special teams. In general. Throughout preseason was just consistent and solid all the way around.
Yeah, I think did a pretty good job. I think we could have did a much better job on returns, got a little bit more yards. I hate to see returners run in the back of guys. Like, dude,
Yeah.
come on, man.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't like that. This is your chance and opportunity. You can't be running in the back of dudes. You can't. Find open space. You can see it all. The guy blocking for you, he's just doing his assignment. And you know what the blocking scheme is. You know exactly what's supposed to be done here. So the one thing you don't want to do is run, run to field, run to opening. That's what you do. Run to space. Why are you running up in all the muck? Forget that. Shoot. Make guys miss. That's what you get paid for back there. Make a joker miss. So that's just me as an old special team coach. I'd have been on them joking like, hey, what you doing? Come on, man. You got a chance to be a hero right now. You don't want to wear your cape? You don't want the Superman emblem on your chest tonight? Okay, I got you. All right. Come have a seat with me then.
Teja, anybody stood out for you that we didn't talk about, or just that you the special teams was your call out?
Nah, I was calling special teams.
Yeah, block field goal. Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. But I agree with you. Yeah, the coverage and stuff was clean. I mean, it was that's what you need. You need guys getting down and guys that are willing. And see, you can tell too. You can tell dudes that's on the cusp because guys try to lie a little harder on the special teams getting down covering. They wanted to make the play. Okay? Because I guarantee they didn't show dudes on film with the red dot looking around like, okay, I don't want to be that guy. So
our guy Jimmy Holiday, he catches a bomb, then he goes down and makes a tackle on punt or kick return. I forgot which one it was, but yeah, that flash was a great tackle.
Jimmy looked good too, man. He's a name that is he could be a practice squad guy.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I believe he's one of those dudes.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those years in a long time that I'm really going to be hoping and paying attention to the practice squad guys we get on there, sneak through there.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see which ones make it to the PS.
Yeah.
Jimmy's going to be an interesting one because Jimmy was a guy that he was the one who was at the Giants. He was scheduled to go to the Giants. What do you call it? OTAs. Or the rookie OTAs, the rookie minicamp invite. We came to ours first. We signed him, so we couldn't go to the Giants one. We wanted to claim him. So that's a guy that there's people around the league who are looking at him. So that's gonna be an interesting one to see. And our guy Major, we'll see what happens if he makes the if he makes the practice squad. So I'm gonna be rooting for a lot of these guys to stick around. Some good dudes.
Man, I tell you, I just thinking about it, man. I hate that we lost that game. I know it don't mean it, but guys want to win. They do. You work hard. Did all training camp. You want to take one. You know what I mean? Take one dub. Yeah, God.
Especially at home too.
Yeah, coach will come in. Hey, you know what? It don't matter how we won or not, and look at how guys played. Coach, we want one of those wins. I'm sorry. Don't shoot. Don't massage me. I'm going home and I'm pissed off. So.
All right, so guys, so we'll be done for tonight. JD and I'll be back on Monday, and JD's going to reveal his 53-man roster because that is the day before when the deadline for the 53-man roster needs to be in. So Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the deadline for the 53-man roster will be input. So Monday's going to be a big day, and probably Tuesday, the following day after our show. So Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, JD and I will be on here looking at his 53-man roster, his projected one. So yeah, guys. 2 weeks, baby. The next time we have a post-game show will be a actual game that's going to count, and then win-loss. So
it's crazy.
We are here, man. We are here, guys. So we hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will see you guys on Monday night. JD, you want to take us away? It's a lot of people in the chat. I don't know if you want.
Oh, yeah. This is Kevin Seven, the world champion, Philadelphia Beagles. 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 Oh, that's not how you spell it. Yeah. Don't come come in here with all that mess. We ain't got to do. Hey, we ain't got time for that. Okay. Glad you're here though. I'm glad you're here because you sitting there sneaking on us to see what we got. Okay, and you watched it tonight. And the reason you saying that is because you are sweating your tail off. And you looking like, yo, they for real. Absolutely. And we're going to get our lick back. We're going to get our lick back, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, sir. So with that being said, hey, listen, we appreciate y'all coming out. This is preseason in the books, okay? The Chiefs end up 0-3, but none of that matters. First team, part of our second team, those guys looked exceptional. And so when we start this season, the way that we started this game is exactly what you're going to see on Sundays for this entire season. And I'm telling you, we look great. We look good. Pat's arm is live. The wide receivers are running down the field. It is going to be an Olympic track meet. We got great hands. We got great running backs. Our O-line, if you had any concerns about that on the left side, put that to bed now, okay? I'm glad the guys showed you that they're very capable. We're going to have a good time. Trust that. Our defense, hey, first team came in, Chris Jones, Bolton, all those guys, hey, they showed out, right? So we understand 2 weeks in Brazil, we are ready. On the road to Brazil. That's what I had up here. I don't know if you guys see it. It's in red. On the road to Brazil. On to Brazil. On to Brazil. Okay? That's what that is. And so you guys and gals, be ready. Be ready. Because it's going to be a treat. It's going to be a treat. So with that being said, gentlemen, y'all have a wonderful night. Thank y'all for coming out and seeing what we were talking about for the preseason. I will come out, like Marcus said, I will have a list, talk a little bit about what I seen, a little bit more detailed on it. But we're getting ready. Our preseason is over the 2, right, Marcus? Tej? Preseason's over. And so
let's do it.
Yeah, man, we're bringing the goodies. You know what it's going to be
on the meal.
Friday. That's right. That's right. So be ready, man. We're going to have some good stuff for you. With that being said, fellas, love y'all. Hey, everybody, has a lot of people in the chat. Y'all take care of each other. Love you guys. And I just want to say this, okay? From the response that I had when I shared my story, I just want to tell y'all how much that meant to me. Just being humbled. But from hearing y'all support and telling me how much of a great story that was, it was straight from the heart. And I'm glad y'all felt that because that's real and that's true. And so what I said on Wednesday, I want us to recognize and understand there's guys that going to be in the sad part when the cuts come. It's going to be a sad day for a lot of guys. Your dreams are not going to come to fruition. But, we keep giving support. I hope these guys, if they don't make it here, they make it somewhere else. But continue to remember, man, we all are just out here human, trying to do the right thing, trying to be the best that we possibly can be, okay? And if a guy's on your team, here particularly with the Chiefs, hey, man, if you're a fan, give them your support, all right? They're having a hard time, support them anyway. Pull them up, bring them up, okay? I think, too much conversation about guys being bust, trash, this and that, and it's kind of crazy coming from people out here who think, I guess, from their old perfect position that they live in, right? They're talking about me on my high horse. Everybody on their high horse talking about how perfect they are. It don't work that way. Support these guys, okay? Whatever decision that may be, support them. If you're a fan of these guys, of the team, cheer on them when they make plays, okay? Pull them up when they know, all right? With that being said, man, thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. Y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all take care. Love each other. God bless. Love each other the way you're supposed to. That's what it boils down to. Gentlemen, love you guys. Marcus, Tej.
Love you, buddy.
Guys.
Love you all.
See you guys Monday. Have a good night. Have a good day, everybody.
You soon.
Great weekend. Great weekend.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.